So last class we are explaining this sum of a Java keyword. We have learned about transient as well as volatile. We will learn the rest keywords, that is instance of, native, strict FP and assert. Okay. So let us see. For efficiency consideration, each thread can keep its own private copy of such a shared variable, possibly in a register of the CPU. So here volatile is we are explaining. So this is a keyword we are required in our multi-threaded programs. Whenever our multi-threaded programs are using, each thread can keep its own private copy of such a shared variable, possibly in a register of a CPU. So whatever the values going to be varying, that shared variable of a thread can be maintained in CPU register. In real, our master copy of the variable is updated at various times, such as when a synchronized method is entered. So here the whatever the copy we are maintaining in the register is going to be updated several times if you make that variable as a volatile. Okay, while this approach works fine, there may be times when it is inappropriate. So anyhow, that is a volatile keyword, and we are moving to the instance of. Already this instance of keyword we have learned in your operators. These are the special operators, right? So the instance of a keyword is an object reference operator. What it is called? It is called as an object reference operator, and returns true if the object on the left hand side is an instance of the class given on the right hand side. So this instance of keyword is used to identify whether the declared variable declared object is belongs to particular class or not. Okay, this operator allows us to determine whether the object is belongs to particular class or not. For example, we are considering person instance of student. So it will returns true if the person belong to the class student, otherwise it will false. Here the student is the class. Let us assume you have defined class as student and public static void main and so on, and to access this student class you have created the object as person. Student person is equal to new student of. If you define the object for this student as a person, then this instance of keyword returns true. Okay, otherwise it will returns false. So what is the purpose of instance operator? It returns true if the object belongs to the class. So that is why it is called as object reference operator. Object reference operator. Okay, yes. And next keyword is a strict FP. One of the more historic keyword is strict FP. So strict FP stands for strict floating point. When Java 2 was released several years ago, the floating point computation model was relaxed slightly. So this strict floating point keyword is used because of older versions. Especially the new model does not require the truncation of certain intermediate values that occurs during a computation. So if you want to get the exact result, we have to use floating point values. If you want to specify the precisions, then at that condition you have to use this strict FP. As you know, what do you mean by precision? The point followed by the values are called as precisions, right? So you can specify number of precision for your accurate result. For example, 22 by 7, it gives 3.14123456 and so on. It never ends. Got it? Yes, that is occurs during your computation. This prevents overflow or underflow in some cases. Because of these conditions, it may causes either overflow or underflow. By modifying a class method or interface with strict FP, you ensure that floating point calculations take place precisely as they did in earlier versions of Java. So in the Java 2, some of compact issues we have seen. So whenever you are declaring the classes or methods or interfaces with a strict FP, floating point calculations are precisely orderly managed in earlier versions of Java. When a class is modified by strict FP, all the methods in the class are also strict FP automatically. When your class is modified with strict FP, automatically the methods in that class is also comes with a strict FP, and it will stick for a certain precision numbers. Okay. So next our keyword is assert. This question is asking, so already I told you transient volatile as well as assert, and instance of strict FP assert is asking, you have to go through like this. So the assert keyword is used during program development to create an assertion. So here the assertion stays a condition, which is a condition that is expected to be true during the execution of the program. If you are using the keyword assert, means you are making the condition to be true. You are making the condition to be true. Okay. For example, you might have a method that should always return a positive integer value. You might test this by asserting that the return value is greater than 0 using assert statement. So we have identified the positive numbers. How we are identifying the positive numbers? If number greater than 0, we are writing that condition. So in earlier days, instead of these conditions, they are used to test by using this assert keyword. For example, you might have a method that should always return a positive number. So here that checking that condition, we are using this assert keyword. Okay. At runtime, if the condition actually is true, no other action takes place. However, if the condition is false, then assertion error is thrown. If you have entered any negative number, then at that time this assert keyword throws errors. Yes. So if it returns other than the positive value, it will returns automatically an assertion error. So automatically it will returns assertion errors. Assertions are often used during testing to verify that some expected condition is actually met. So these are the used to testing the condition to verify some expected conditions actually has to do. The assert keyword has two forms. The first is shown here, assert condition. Here condition is an expression that must evaluate to a boolean result. If assert condition is you are using a condition, for that it will be evaluating the result in the form of boolean values, either true or false. If the condition is false, then assertion fails and the default assertion error object is thrown. If the condition is false, then assertion error will be thrown by, for example, assert n greater than 0. For example, if n value is negative, then it will throw false condition. False means it will show an assertion error. The second form of assert is shown here, assert condition colon expression. So this is the second form. Here the condition, in the condition you are specifying one expression. Okay. And now this is the sample program we are displaying. Till now we have displayed some static information where you are not interacting. This is also one of a static information by using your applet. This program defines the summation of two numbers. Okay, this program defines summation of two numbers, addition of two numbers. For this, let us see what we are doing. Import java.applet.applet. We are importing applet package, and next awt package. Awt package is compulsory. We have to import. Next, we are writing our class. That class is also declared as public, and the name of the class is the sumnums, and it is inheriting the features of applet. Right, sumnums extends applet. In this directly we are writing public void paint graphics G. What is the purpose of a paint? To display the content. So while displaying, we are processing. Int num1 is equal to 10, int num2 is equal to 20. Variable we have declared and initialized, and int sum is equal to num1 plus num2. So 10 plus 20, that is 30. That 30 will be stored in your sum. String str is equal to sum of plus string dot value of. Please observe here string variable we are taking. While taking, we are assigning one value, that is the sum. This will be displayed as it is, plus string dot val of sum. Whatever the numerical value of a 30 is exist, this is string dot value of a function. String dot value of a function will convert 30 number into a string. The number 30 into a string. Okay, next you are displaying the value by using g.drawString the str. The str consists of sum colon 30. 30 will be displayed. This sum colon 30 will be displayed where 100 and 125 intersects in your browser. Okay, yes. So what is the purpose of string.val function? It converts the number into string. It converts the number into string. So let us see the execution of this program. Let me copy, and I'm taking notepad plus plus, and I'm taking new file. Let me close all files. Close all but this. Okay, close this. Yes, I'm pasting. Right. So how to save? Copy and file, save it. So while saving, you have to ensure that sumnums.java. You have to ensure you are saving here, right? Okay. So please observe here, this is also a static program, but we will see the execution of this program. cdjdk 1.4/bin java c sumnums, right? Sumnums.java. No error. I'm running. How to run applet program? Applet beaver sumnums.java. Whether it will run? No. Why? Can anybody guess? Yes, because it doesn't consist of applet tag in comment section, right? So we have to suppose to use applet followed by the code. In the code, sumnums, and you can specify height is equal to 300 and width is equal to 150. So you are specifying the browser height and width, and you are closing the applet tag. Okay, so now save it from your command prompt, compile it, no error, and run it. So now it is displaying, right? Got it? So you are directly displaying the sum 30. This is your, so your height and width also specified. According to the height and width, it is displaying. Okay, in the minimal form, it is displaying height and width. When you maximize, it will come to the full screen. Okay, yes. Yes, so this program has not executed, but in our program we have included this applet code, right? If you have not included this applet code, then your program won't execute, right? So here in next, they have defined in HTML codes. In the HTML code, they have specified this applet code. Okay, so if you run, you will get in your browser the output as something like this. And next, let us see an interactive applets. So applets work in a graphical environment. Therefore, applet treats input as a text string. So whenever you are developing an interactive applets in a graphical environment, whatever you are inputting the string, it is taken as a text. Okay, whatever you are inputting through from the controls, it is acting as a strings. We need to create an area on the screen in which use can type and edit input items. So by using these interactive screens, then you have to type and edit input items. So there may be a chance to edit your content, and also you have to type the content in your interactive applets. We can do this using text field class of the applet packages. If you want to edit whatever the user input in applet programs, in the last program it is a static program where we have assigned and we are displaying. There is not having any further interactions. If you want to develop these interactive applets, then we have to use certain classes. Here controls, as we have learned these controls in our VB.NET, so here it is treated as in a class objects. Okay, so if you want to input and edit your content, then we have to suppose to use text field classes of the applet package. When data is entered, an event is generated. When data is entered, an event is generated. Please observe here, while entering the data, some of the events are generated. This can be used to refresh the applet output based on input values. So if the events are generated, then in your output it will be affected. Okay, if it is refreshing means you are redisplaying that affected events. And let us see here the interactive program. Sum of two numbers. Let us try this sum of two numbers. Let us see here. Import java.applet.applet. This package is compulsory. Import java.awt.star. So this package is also compulsory. Next you are writing the class. The class is declared as a public, and the name of the class is SumNums Interactive extends applet. What is the name of the class? SumNums Interactive extends applet. Right. Afterwards your program begin here. You are declaring text field classes object. What you are declaring? Text field classes object. Okay, you are declaring text field objects. What is the text field object? Text1 comma text2. So next you are starting with your init method, public void init method. As you know what is the purpose of init method, you have to initialize. Now you are creating the text box 1. Text1 means your text box 1, because this is a text field class object, right? So text1 is equal to new text field of 10. So here it is specifying the 10 as the size. Okay, it is a size or the value which is appearing. Okay, no, it is a size. The text field size is 10, and new indicates you are creating. This is the class objects. Which class object? Text field object. Now you are creating text2, your text2 object with the field size 10. Next, text1 dot set text of 0. You are assigning the default value in that text box is 0. Okay, so whenever you define like this, we are getting two text box. You are getting two text box with the size 10 like this. Okay, and its a default value what you are setting? 0 0. While displaying only it is showing 0 0. For this you are using text1 dot set text 0 set text2 dot set text. What is the purpose of set text? It is setting the value to your fields. Okay, your objects. Got it? Yes. Yes. Now afterwards compulsory we have to use one method. That method is called as add method. So this add method will add the control to your web pages. If you don't use this add method, these objects are not added in your output screen, that is in your web pages. Okay, so that is the purpose of add method. So add method is used to add the object in your web pages. Okay, so where we are displaying your applet program in web pages. So that is why we have to suppose to use add method. Add text1, add text2. So we have to add two text field controls. Okay, so it is initialized. Now you are writing public void paint graphics G. Public void paint graphics G, it means it is displaying. So while displaying, you are taking two variable, int num1 is equal to 0, int num2 is equal to 0, two variable, int sum 3 variable, and you are declaring string variable string s1 s2 s3. You are declaring 3 string variable s1 s2 s3. Okay, next you are displaying the output g dot draw string. Here one of a message is showing input a number in each box. So it is displaying a message with input a number in each box 10 comma 50. where it message will be displayed where the x and y coordinate touches with 10 and 50. Okay, so 10 and 50 maybe here or here, right? It will come here, right? And next what we are doing now, we have to process, right? For processing we are taking try catch block. Try s1 is equal to text1 dot get text. Please observe here, what is the purpose of set to text? You are setting the value not text box, right? So then you are assigning text1. What is the text1? Text field 1, text box 1, right? Text box 1 dot get text, you are accessing the value provided in that text. So where you are storing? You are storing in s1. What is s1? s1 is a string variable. Okay, next num1 is equal to, please observe here, num1 variable is 0. Now your what you are doing, please observe here, integer dot parseInt of s1. So what is s1? String. Whatever the value you have accessed from that text box is stored in the string variable, and in that variable, for example, if I input in this text box as 30, if I input the value as 30, then this 30 is treated as a string. Whatever you are entering in the text box is string. Okay, so if you want to do numerical operations, you have to forcefully convert this string into appropriate numerics. Okay, yes. So here also same thing, by get a text method you are accessing the value in that text box and you are forcefully converting into integer dot parseInt of s1, integer dot parseInt of s1. So s1 means string, the number 30 is forcefully you are converting into number, and number will be stored in number. Now s2 is equal to text2 dot get text. In the second text field you are having entered a value, that value will be stored in s2, that string variable. In that variable you have stored. Next you are forcefully converting this string into integer, okay, and you are storing the result in num2 variable. Okay, on the catch block, if any errors has occurred in this block, it will be catched by the catch block. Okay, so catch exception even. Now nothing is there. Okay, if you want to display anything you can write it. Now you're summing, that sum is equal to num1 plus num2, string str is equal to the sum is string dot val of. What is the purpose of string dot val of? You are forcefully converting the number into string. Okay, you are forcefully converting the number into string, that we are doing, and you are displaying the content. G dot draw string str comma 100 comma 125, you are displaying the value. Okay, that value will be displayed in the x coordinate as well as y coordinate. Now please observe here, public boolean action. Public boolean action, we are taking event object ev, object reference obj. Now you are calling the repaint. Whenever you call the repaint method, it will display paint method, right? And it will return true. Why? What is the purpose of repaint method? You can give n number of interactions. According to that interaction, it has to execute, right? So here, if you observe, if you take this boolean action event, whenever the value you enter, immediately event will be generated. Event will be automatically generated. Okay, yes, let me see how it will work. Here the interaction is given, input a number in each box, you are entering. Whenever you entered, immediately it will process and display 15. How it is possible? Because of this boolean action event. Okay, this boolean action event is automatically registered and it will show this processed value. Clear? Yes. Now let us see. Let me copy, and I am taking file new and paste, and copying the same thing and paste. Whether it will work, let me check. How to save this file? Some nums interactive, right? I'm copying, go to the file, save, and save.java. Yes, now come to the command prompt. Already I am logged in, java c some nums interactive .java. Please observe here, there is no errors. It is giving only the note. Note means is not an error. Okay, now we have to run applet vivo some nums interactive.java. It is not working. Why? Anybody? Because it not included your applet code, right? Comment section, you have to use applet tag, applet code. What is the code? Some nums interactive dot class is as to supposed to be HAGHAT is equal to 100, width is equal to 350 and give it. Okay, yes. Afterwards you have to close the applet tag and comment section. Okay, if you don't give this applet code in comment sections, then it won't work. Let me save, come here and compile. Let me compile once again and run once again. So it is immediately showing in your browser we are not having anything, right? So in our program it consists of error. So because of that error it is not executing. Some nums interactive nums, some num interactive or some nums interactive. Yes, let us see carefully. Correct, public class is correct, public void init correct. Right, let us write what is the error. System.out.println. Yes, we are seeing this sample program. It is supposed to show some nums interactive dot. That is why we have to take class. If you don't take the class, it won't works. Okay, so in URL it is better to give. Let us compile once again. 34 line number 34, it is mistake. What is the line number 34? We'll see. Yes, this is right. You have taken right. Okay, let me save, come here and compile once again. No error and run. Let me modify this above program with A1. Okay, I will make it as a A1. Now the program is the same, right? Whichever our program, right? Let me come here, java c a1.java. There is no error. Applet vivo a1.java. So whenever you run your application, it is waiting for here. So whatever the value you have set it is showing here, right? Input each box. Now I am inputting 10 and 20. Whenever I press the enter key, immediately you are getting here 30. Got it? So likewise it will be evaluated. Sometimes it will give applet not initialized. At that time we have to see the full qualified name. So here the names are mismatching. Okay, I just renamed it with this concept. Okay, control program in java for addition of two numbers. Okay, we try of two numbers here. The same is taken. Implements action listeners init add only. It is the same thing. He has taken class name extends applets implements action listener. if the button action is taken. What is B here? Button. We are not taking any button. Okay, let me copy this program. Okay, let me try. You can understand this program. It's the same thing. Performed. But here what we have done? The same thing. Me add int displaying display your processing. It is correct actually. Public boolean action. Public boolean action. Boolean action. An event objective are taking. Read paint is true. It is correct. We are doing the right answers only. After test block. We save. And see some notes. Identifier is required. What is you have to use in initialization method. Initialization is there text1 comma text2. Right. You run this program, it will execute. Why it is not executing? New text field of. So there is an error. Viva some nums interactive dot java. It is started but it is not showing. Applet not initialized. See the mistakes. What is there? Yes, this is mistake. Let not initialized. This is showing an error. Let me take another example. No problem. Let me take this program. Okay, and I will explain this. Based on this, you can do this. Okay, let me paste it here. Q2. This. Let me save it with q2.html. So q2.java. So here we have to add the applet code. Applet code is equal to q2.class gight is equal to 150. Width is equal to 200. Let me run first. I will explain the program later. Okay, let me run first. I will explain the program later. Right. Okay, now let me check whether it will work or not. Okay, if it is work, I will java c q2.java error is there. Okay, what is that? Your color is not required. Directly we can give red. That's all. Yes. Save it, compile, program red. That should be in double quotation, right? Yes, that should be in double quotation because it is a value. Compile, set foreground. Still we don't need any color. Let me remove this. Okay, save it. Come here and compile. Yes, no error. Applet viewer q2.java. Applet viewer q2.java is not worked. Why? What happened? Let me close first and take the command. Okay, cmd cd slash djdk 1.4 slash bin. Now alt enter javac some nums interactive.java applet viewer some nums interactive.java. So it is having mistake. We have to check it. Later we will see. javac q2.java applet viewer q2.java. What happened? It is not showing. Here a mistake is there. Field you are created, text field you are created, text field you are created, labels you are created, label you are adding. Implements action listeners is correct. Let me take only q2. Right, if you save it and you provide action performed action event if e dot key resource equal to b button click ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಆಗಬೇಕು. p1 dot get text, p2 dot get text, p3 dot set text. ನೀವು ಸೆಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. Okay, because applet has not closed. Okay, now let me check. Okay, come here and compile. Now run. It is showing right. Please observe here, first number 10, second number 20, and sum at 30. So when it is happened, whenever I modified, it is happening. Clear? Yes. But please observe here, public class q2. The name of the class is q2 extends applets implements action listeners. So we have to use implements action listeners. If you use this action listeners, implements action listeners, then you can create action listeners for registered source. Okay, now afterwards you are declaring text field t1. So text box object you are creating with the size 10. Text field means text box. The name of the text field class is t2 object, and you are creating and with the size 10, and you are taking another text field. That text field means the text box. The name of the text field is a t3 object, and you are creating and you are assign and label object. Okay, what is the label object? L1 you are creating and you are displaying enter first number. Label object L2 you are creating and you are giving the caption as second number. Label object L3 new object new label some caption you are giving. And button object button b is equal to new button of button b is equal to new button of add. The caption should be appear on that button is add. Okay, and init method what you are doing, you are adding all these field. First what you are adding, please observe here, are adding L1. What is L1? Label 1. After adding the label 1, what you are adding? T1. What is T1? Text box. So first number, in the front of first number you are displaying T1. Next you are adding label 2, and in the label 2 front it has to display T2, and label 3 in the front T3, and next you are adding the button control. Okay, after that you are writing one code, b dot add action listeners. You are adding the event handlers, add action listeners of this class, so particular of this class. Okay, so if this add action listener has to execute, you have to write public void action performed action event method. Public void action performed action event method is compulsory. This is an event handlers. Okay, this is the source, this is the event handler. So because of this event source, it will be executed. Whenever you click that button, the control will come here. So this class means according to this only, right? For getting these values, I am writing this if condition. Please observe here. If this object e dot get source equal to b, so what resource has to get whenever I click this button b? Whenever I click that button b, I have to get the sources. Get sources is a built-in method. By using this get source method, I can access entire information, right? So I'm accessing the source of b. If I click that source of b, I have to process int n1 is equal to t1 dot get text. What is t1? Text box. t1 dot get text means whatever the value you are provided, it is a string, you are forcefully converting into integer, and you are entering the second number in a text box field t2, and you are forcefully converting into integer because whatever you are entering at the runtime, it is string, and you are storing in int n1 int n2. So t3 dot set text. What is the t3? Your result, right? Sum, right? So in that text box you are setting the result. What you are setting? Blank space plus n1 plus n2. So summation of n1 and n2. Likewise you can evaluate. Clear? Yes. Likewise you can evaluate. Okay, hope you understand this concept. We will meet in another class. So what is the purpose of add action listeners? To register the events. If you want to execute this add action listeners, compulsory which method we have to use? Public void action performed method has to be used. Okay, so here e dot get source, what happens? It will access all the resources of this control. Whenever this button is pressed, what has to be implemented? Whenever this button has to press, what implementation code I have to develop? What implementation code I have to develop? If I click the add button, this summation will be processed. So that is the code we have implemented here. Okay, hope this concept you have understood. We will meet in next class.